Meghan Markle and Harry may just be on their way to the United Kingdom, a kingdom they abandoned for the limelight. Now their light is dimmed, and the only way to get that light back is to run back to the place they couldn't wait to escape.
Would explain the fact that she is literally plotting to return to the United Kingdom, a country that she has decried as racist, a country where, as a result of her treatment of the late Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, she is despised, she will be booed. She's not at threat, by the way, in terms of her safety, but reputationally, absolutely.
Here is the real reason Meghan Markle and Harry are returning to the royal kingdom. When Harry and Meghan left the royal family in 2020, Harry claimed it was their choice and that they wanted to live a normal life devoid of media visibility. In other words, they wanted privacy.
But I hope that helps you understand what it had come to, that I would step my family back from all I have ever known, to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life.
But they did the opposite. Immediately after leaving the royal family, they went ahead to sign major deals with Netflix, Spotify, and Penguin Books.
Now, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have signed a multi-year deal to produce films and series for Netflix, no less.
They abandoned royalty to become Hollywood celebrities, but before they could blink, all the deals they signed failed. Spotify shut down Meghan's podcast deal after just one season.
Everything is temporary.
It's over. Harry and Meghan's estimated $25 million podcast deal canceled after less than a year.
My wife and I were moving on.
Their Netflix deal stalled, and even the cooking show became a huge blunder that Netflix executives could not help but blame themselves for approving.
Nearly entered rehab yesterday. That is the biggest pile of crap I've ever seen on television in my life. Somebody texted me and went, "You don't use yogurt, you use cottage cheese, you twat."
Now that everything has failed and nothing is working again, the one thing they could think of is to return to the United Kingdom.
Everything career-wise is over for her. It's collapsed.
For them, no successful commercial venture has materialized, and the frustration is setting in. Even speaking gigs and appearances are now paid necessities and not a choice. Harry now reportedly has a price list before going out to speak. He is charging for appearance. He has become a rent-a-prince.
And a source said it's clearly a paid gig. Look, they won't confirm it, but a source in the industry says this sort of thing is likely 6 figures plus expenses is what Harry is getting.
Harry is not doing all these things because of who he is anymore. He needs the funds for survival. Everything Harry does now must be a money-generating machine. His philanthropy has shifted into paid appearances and branding. For Harry, the Invictus Games now function more as a publicity vehicle than a revenue-independent charity. Currently, his popularity has gone down, and he is not being talked about the way he used to be.
The Duke and Duchess lose more support from the American public. Since December, Prince Harry's popularity has sunk 48 points, while Meghan's has dropped by 40. That sees Harry's approval sitting on -10 and Meghan's on -17.
Their return to the UK is also tied to the taxpayer-funded security case. The aim of this return is to pressure the British government into granting their request for security. Harry feels their physical presence in the UK would do a lot to help their case, as they have been seeking this security ever since leaving the royal family. Winning this security battle would make UK appearances easier and cheaper.
The planned trip comes as the US-based couple are set to hear the result of their taxpayer-funded security review. And of course, when it came to the taxpayer-funded security review, it wasn't all as it seemed. This was Harry and Meghan trying to bounce the British government into giving them this security.
But from what it seems, they are likely to lose this case because taxpayers' money cannot be used to fund security for non-working royals. They also want to hide under the umbrella of the Invictus Games to return to the UK. Although Invictus provides a respectable reason to return, they would still make the media focus on them rather than the veterans they claim to be supporting. Many have started to believe that Harry seems to be using this platform to gain relevance and not purely for the well-being of injured veterans.
The Invictus Games has sadly become basically just a big publicity stunt for Harry and Meghan. It is not about the veterans. It is not about the competition. Nobody watches, nobody engages with the competition itself. It's all about Harry and Meghan. And it's just unfathomable to me that like taxpayer dollars are extended on this event that doesn't generate any money or income.
Currently, no new business pipeline has progressed. Everything has crashed so badly that Harry had no choice but to solicit a voiceover role for Meghan from Bob Iger during the Lion King premiere they attended. It was an awkward request, but Harry had to do it because things had gotten to his neck. Even Hollywood interest, which was one of the motivations for leaving the royal family, has cooled off. They now seem confused, and it appears that everything they touch fails. Harry and Meghan think that the UK remains the only place where their titles still carry a little weight. That is the only thing they currently have. They can only commercialize their titles to make money for survival, but will it work in the UK now?
We obviously know that the Sussexes have made a lot of money off their titles, given the fact that they have a Netflix documentary and they had an interview with Oprah and now Harry's book Spare. They're very aware that this wouldn't have happened if they weren't members of the royal family and they didn't have these titles.
That may be one of the reasons their titles could be stripped, if not now, then in the near future.
Meghan. So I think the understanding is that when he becomes monarch, they will be formally stripped of the HRH.
And I'm sure Prince William has a lot of support for that from the public.
Absolutely.
Now,
the weight of everything is resting on Harry. He feels the pressure whenever he is at home with his narcissistic wife, Meghan. There is no peace around him. Some briefings suggest that Harry is happiest when he is on the road and not at home. This indicates unhappiness with his current life in California.
Because out on the road, he's not with Meghan Markle. He's not with the children. So those close to him are even acknowledging in a puff piece to Roy Anika, he's not happy in the Montecito mansion, which has become a prison to him that he desperately tries to escape.
Being in the UK represents familiarity, identity, and relevance for Harry. While being in California, he lacks all of these and does not even know what to do. But will Harry be treated by the public like he used to be? I mean, he ran away because he was not happy. Just look at him in London, going from door to door looking for maids. You can see unhappiness written all over his face. But Harry still thinks that the only thing that could make him happy right now is returning to the UK, where he was once a revered and respected prince.
Now, the prince has been caught on camera knocking on wrong doors as he searched for a mate's house in London. And look, the pictures are just quite fascinating, I'd say.
His return to the royal family is an indirect admission that leaving the royal system failed. This is the life he has known all his life, and living outside it has taken a serious toll on him. The only way for Harry to regain his sanity is to return, reestablish proximity to the monarchy, and restore his status. But that seems impossible right now, because, as we discussed earlier, Prince William is planning to strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles.
This move back to the UK, basically, or this attempted move back to the UK, is an acknowledgement of failure of their relationship, a failure of their plans, a failure of basically every aspect of their life in many ways. And so the only way they can salvage something is maybe by reestablishing themselves as royals.
They are losing relevance and popularity, and the only way to regain it is to force the media back onto them. Their UK presence would compel media attention and keep them in public discourse at least for some time, thereby increasing their publicity and relevance. They prefer controversy because it boosts visibility. Even when they are booed, they celebrate it. During the Queen's Jubilee, they were booed, and recently at the Dodgers game, Meghan appeared pleased by the reaction. Instead of feeling embarrassed, she clung to Harry, who looked visibly tired and frustrated.
The look on Prince Harry's face when it registers that they're being booed, you could tell that really affects him.
This arrival may force the royal family to prepare defensively. They do not know what these two nuisances intend to do in the UK. It has triggered increased crisis management and public relations strategy on the royal side. The royal family is being extremely careful about any comments regarding Harry and Meghan's return. This arrival is not for the good of anyone else. It is for their own survival. They are out of cash and relevance, so they must leverage this visit. They have tried everything, and it failed. The last and only remaining option is to return to the United Kingdom so they can survive, at least for now.
And then you also have Spotify deal is dead. We have a lot of other deals that have died, and the money is not flowing in for them. So basically everything they have to do now has to be paid because otherwise they're not going to make any money.
What are your thoughts about their return to the United Kingdom? Should they be welcomed or chased back to California? Let us know in the comments section. Do not forget to like, share, and comment. See you in the next video.